Thanks everyone for being here tonight on this day where the golf season ended, obviously today. Making the trip down, some people came quite a ways and we really appreciate it. We've got a wonderful evening planned out for you. We're going to honor a bunch of people. Before we get into that, I just want to recognize a few people who are here. First of all, the IGA staff. I'm Chad Pitts, the Executive Director. Meg Munson, our intern, is back there. She's going to do the video tonight. Clint Brown, Director of Communications. Caitlin Hoganson, raise your hand, Caitlin. And Bill Dickens. So I just want to recognize them and thank them for all the hard work that they've done this year. It's been fantastic. We have a couple of board members in attendance tonight too. Our president, Andy Burton, is here. Andy, thanks for everything you've done for us throughout this year. We look forward to another great year of you as the president. And Leanne LaRocca, our treasurer, is here. Leanne. So let's give them a round of applause. So we're going to start tonight with our Leahy Medal winners. For those of you guys that don't know, the Leahy Medal was started by, really the idea was created by the Rules and Competitions Committee Chairman Mike Pate. The Leahy Medal gives us the opportunity to honor Mr. Leahy, as well as to recognize in his Hall of Fame career as a player and contributor to the IGA. Bob won a total of 11 IGA major events. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 people who won more than that. One of them is in this room, John Brown. You're one of those guys who won more than him. So, he's won 3 Iowa Amateurs, which is outstanding. He's served the IGA for over 50 years as a volunteer and a life member of the board of directors. The Leahy Medal kind of establishes an honor roll, so to speak, for us every year, where we were able to honor outstanding competitive achievement within the state of Iowa. The criteria that the committee set when they established the Leahy Medal says, a Leahy Medal shall be presented to any IGA member who records multiple victories or at least 1 victory and 3 or more top 5 finishes in a single season. Qualifying events include all IGA conducted championships, IGA sanctioned point events, and any USGA qualifiers played in Iowa. And then our committees have a discretion to award any additional medals for achievements maybe outside of that criteria. Sadly, as a lot of you guys know, Bob Leahy passed away earlier this year on April 18th. And so at this time, I'd like to bring up his sons. John and Paul are here. John's going to say a few words, and Paul's going to help me hand out the medals.
Well, thank you. I'm John. Paul's. Thank you to the Iowa Golf Association for extending the invitation for Paul and I to come tonight. We really appreciate it. This award is something that my dad, later in his life, when it was kind of put together, this was one of the most special things that I know that he felt in his accomplishments was at the very top. Since last year when we were here, obviously, as Chad mentioned, my dad passed away in April, but he loved these events, loved to be able to recognize the fantastic golfers that the state of Iowa has and the Iowa Golf Association. And I know that if he were here tonight, he would be so proud of the people that are here and the accomplishments that they have done. And for that, I appreciate everybody that has invited Paul and I to continue with this, and I'm hoping that the Leahy Medal continues for many years beyond this as a legacy not only to my dad, but also to the outstanding golfers that get presented to this. So, thank you again.
Okay, the folks that we're going to bring up here that are going to get a medal, as I announce you, I'm going to ask you to stay up here, and once we get everybody up here, we'll take a group photo, okay? And then at the end of the evening, just so everybody knows, we will have opportunity for photos and things like that. Our first Leahy Medal winner, we're just going to go in alphabetical order. This gentleman had 2 wins and 4 top 5 finishes this year. He won the Southeast Iowa Amateur was a medalist at the U.S. Mid-Am qualifier, second at the IGA 4-ball, second low amateur at the Iowa Open, finished runner-up at the Briarwood Am, finished third at the Carroll Am, Mr. J.D. Anderson. Come on up. Our next winner had, on the senior side, a couple of wins and 3 top 5s. He won the senior division of the Fort Dodge Am, the Waterloo Open. He finished runner-up at the Carroll Amateur, was 4th at the Southeast Iowa Amateur, and 5th at the IGA 4-ball. Joe Bates. Dr. Joe Bates. Our next winner, 3 wins this year. Finished second in the Player of the Year race. John Brown won the Iowa Mid-Am, was low amateur at the Herman Sani and low amateur at the Iowa Open. Come on up, Jimmy. Our first female recipient tonight is Julie Bierman, who won the IGA Women's Match Play, finished second at the Cedar Rapids Women's Open, and 4th at the IGA in the individual portion of the IGA Women's Club team. Julie, come on up. Our next recipient participated mostly on the senior side, had a win and 3 top 5s. He was 1st at the Southeast Iowa Amateur, 2nd at the Fort Dodge Amateur, 3rd at the Briarwood Amateur, and 4th at the Iowa Senior Amateur. Terry Cook. Our next winner, I'm going to keep this quick because you're going to hear a lot more about him later, is Gene Elliott. Come on up, Gene. Along those same lines, Jenny Hines. You're going to hear more about her in just a little bit. Jenny, come on up. Our next recipient had a win and 3 top 5s. He was 1st at the IGA 4-ball, 2nd at the Northwest Amateur, 2nd at the Iowa Senior Amateur, and 5th at the Briarwood Am. Curtis Hawk. You're going to hear a little more about this lady later, but Rose Kubishevsky, you have a Leahy medal. Come on up. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight. John Olson is also a Leahy medal recipient. John was a committee selection because John qualified for 3 USGA championships this year. The U.S. Amateur 4-ball, where he partnered with John Brown, who's up here already, and they made match play out of Winged Foot, which was a lot of fun to follow you guys. John also qualified for the U.S. Mid-Amateur and the USGA Men's State Team. So John Olson could not be here tonight, but we will give him a Leahy medal as well. Another gentleman who could not be here tonight, but his lovely wife is here to accept the medal on his behalf, is Ron Peterson. Ron had three wins and 4 top 5s on the senior side, won the Iowa Mid-Am, won the Carroll Am, won the Northwest Am, runner-up at the Iowa Masters, runner-up low amateur at the Iowa Open, 4th at the Southeast Iowa Am, and 4th at the Fort Dodge Am. Gene, come on up and take Ron's medal home. Our next recipient, Janice Schwarzkopf, had a win and 3 top 5s. She won the Open Division of the Iowa Women's Amateur, finished 2nd at the Iowa Senior Women's Am, was 3rd at the Women's 4-ball, and had a top 5 finish at the Women's Club team. Janice, come on. And our final recipient could not be here either. Matt Walker, who is currently a freshman at the University of Iowa, or sophomore now, sorry. Matt had a win at the Ottumwa Amateur, finished 2nd at the Carroll Amateur, finished 4th at the IGA 4-ball. And then as a freshman in the Big Ten championships, Matt had a top 10 finish. And so all those things combined, we felt it was worthy to give him a medal. So let's give Matt a round of applause. So even though Bob, like I said, had passed away earlier this year, we know that his memory is going to live on forever through these Leahy medals. And John, we have no intention of stopping this tradition in the future at all. Thankfully, due to technology, we can still hear from Bob. A couple of years ago, we videoed this
I've already
presentation.
thanked the award individually for doing this honor to me. And you heard all the things that these people have done. You have to understand that the nature of the game is that we've all lost more than was won. So that while they've done all of this work and all of that, it's an effort not only to prepare for the tournament, but to actually go to it. And we hope that this will encourage a lot of people to participate in our events. We've always, the IGA has always been known nationwide for having such a good competitive golf experience for our young people. So there's more than just their effort to practice. It's an effort to get there and do the work.
So congratulations to all of you guys. If you want to hang out just a second and maybe organize yourself, we'll take a quick photo. If anybody wants to come up with their phones and take a photo, feel free to do so.
Always one.
Thanks, everyone. Okay, now we'll move on to our Players of the Year. Andy Burton, our IGA president, is going to help you hand out the plaques. Our first award recipient is Maddie Hawkins of Asbury. She earned points in 6 events in 2016. She finished 6th at the 5A High School State Championships for Dubuque Senior. She finished 3rd at the PGA Junior Championship. Was a first alternate to make the field at the U.S. Junior Girls Amateur. Finished 4th at the, call it regional, almost a national event, but regional Midwest Junior Championship held at Finkbein in Iowa City. She finished, or was a quarterfinalist at the Women's Western Junior Amateur, where she earned the number 2 seed in qualifying, which is quite the feat, and finished 12th at the Iowa Women's Amateur. She amassed a total of 1,556.5 points, beating out second place Casey Noble, who had 1,485 points. Maddie, you are Junior Girls Player of the Year. Come on up. Get your plaque.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Iowa Golf Association for giving me this award and putting on such great events this season. Next, I'd like to thank my high school coach, Rose Kubashevsky, for all your positive encouragement and for being such an amazing coach for me and my teammates. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my family for their never-ending support and always following me to my tournaments this season. You guys have no idea how much I love you for that. But I would especially like to thank my dad for teaching me everything I know, sticking with me all these years through good and bad, and always allowing me to pursue my passion for golf every day. Thank you.
Maddie, I know you were nervous because your dad told me so. But you did a great job. And for those of you who don't know, her father, Jeremy, is the head pro at the Meadows in Dubuque, and he's a great guy, so I know that he's taught her well. So congrats, Dad, Mom, and Dad. Our next recipient is our Junior Boys Player of the Year, Ben Epperly of West Des Moines. 2 wins in qualifying for match play at the U.S. Junior Amateur vaulted Ben to the top of the IGA Junior Player of the Year list. He finished with a total of 1,270 points, which is 265 points clear of second place Chris Cooksley of Winthrop. Ben won the 4A high school state tournament as a junior, playing for Valley. He finished in the top 20 at the AJGA Under Armour Gary Woodland tournament. Qualified, like I said, for match play at the U.S. the biggest junior tournament there is. Thousands of kids enter this thing, and Ben finished in the top 64 at the honors course in Tennessee. He won the Midwest Junior that I mentioned earlier, that Maddie played in as well. Ben won the boys division over at Finkbine in Iowa City, and finished second at the Iowa PGA Junior. Our IGA Boys Player of the Year is Ben Epperly. Come on.
I first would like to thank the Iowa Golf Association for hosting this dinner and honoring me with this award. I also would like to thank my golf coaches Ben Stein, Tracy Vest, and Scott Howe for helping me improve my game. And I would like to thank my parents for supporting me through everything. Without them, I wouldn't be able to achieve this. Thank you.
Our next recipient, I didn't know till tonight, I need to add another bullet point on here for coaching our Junior Girls Player of the Year as well. But Rose Kubashevsky of Dubuque is our Senior Women's Player of the Year. Since the inception of this award, which began in 2010, Rose has been a mainstay at the top of the standings. This is her 3rd Senior Player of the Year award. She also won in 2010 and 2013. She competed this year in just 4 events, but she won 3 of them. She finished first at the IGA Women's 4-Ball, first at the Forever 39 Match Play, won the Iowa Senior Women's Amateur, and then finished in the top 20 against all the young gals in the Iowa Women's Amateur. She had 880 points. Second place, Janice Schwarzkopf had 612. Our Women's Senior Player of the Year is Rose Kubashevsky.
I don't think the IGA can hear it enough, but thank you for all your hard work and the tournaments, the events that you are hosting for all of us to play in. But this year when I got this award, I kind of thought back and, I didn't start playing golf until I got married, and so I thank my husband for getting me involved in golf and igniting that passion for golf within me. I don't think he really knew what he was doing at the time and what he was letting loose, because now he kind of waits for me to come home instead of me waiting for him to come home. But, I think about golf and really what it has provided for me, and through my passion for golf, I met so many wonderful people along the way, so many wonderful friends that I have gained through playing golf. I've had the great opportunity of coaching, and having great players like Maddie play for me, and just seeing those young kids get ignited into the game and just start really liking to play the game is just a wonderful feeling. And I'm going to say that I think the money that I paid Maddie to say what a great coach I was, I think Jeremy paid that to you. But no, in all reality, I love the game of golf, and just have some wonderful friends to show for that, and I appreciate that.
Rose, you don't know this, but this is how we get tournaments scheduled at sites. We talk to the pro like that. Our next recipient is certainly no stranger to coming up here over the past few years. Our Women's Player of the Year is Jenny Hines of Cedar Falls. Jenny has now won the most Women's Player of the Year titles since we've started this award. She broke a tie she had with Kristen Paulson this year. Jenny's third Player of the Year in a row. This year was a little closer maybe than the last couple. She edged out Julie Bierman, who's here tonight, by 92 points. She finished with 925 total. She won the IGA Women's 4-ball with partner Carly Kerrigan. Finished first individually at the Women's Club Team Championship. Was the runner-up at the Women's Match Play. And finished 7th at the Iowa Women's Amateur, which she has won a total of 3 times in the past. She continues to be a terrific player who only seems to get better and is going to be a favorite in whatever event she enters for years to come. Our Player of the Year on the women's side is Jenny Hines. Come on.
Thank you, everybody. I do have notes, and I promise I won't talk probably as long as Jean. But I didn't want to forget anybody this year. Yeah, I know. And I'm really going to try not to cry this year, so we'll see what we do. First, I want to take the opportunity to thank the IGA. I know everybody else has already, but I think we really do take for granted the quality of events that we have in the amateur circuit here in Iowa. The amount of work and dedication it takes to put on these events for all of us, you know, it's easy. We sign up, we can go, we can play these great venues, but it really is, you know, a statement to our golf association, the work that they put in for the quality of events that we do have here in Iowa, especially, you know, like you said, across the state, we switch up the locations and everything like that, and the level of the tournaments continue to be relevant, and we see more and more players every year, which is great to Iowa and golf in our future. So thank you to the staff, the IGA, for all the events that you do put on. The other recipients, I think it's important to say congratulations. You know, it's such a great honor and feat to be here, not only as a Leahy Award medal winner, but as the Players of the Year. There's a lot of great competition throughout the state on both the men's and women's side, so the fact that we're here, the fact that we're being honored is a great testament to the work and dedication that we've all put in, so congratulations to everybody on all of your success and accomplishments this past year. The Leahy family. The Leahy medal means a lot to me, specifically being from Cedar Falls, where you know he was from. I had the opportunity this last December when he wasn't able to attend the event last year. I made a point to go and meet with Bob and have a conversation, and although I had to wait for him to get out of his fitness class, we spent a couple hours together and had the opportunity to talk about the Leahy medal, reminisce a little bit about Iowa golf. We talked about our dream foursomes, and it was a moment that I'll never forget. We called his wife, I know, and he went around the facility where he was staying and showed everybody his medal with his picture, and it was something you could tell he was really proud of. Talked a lot about his family, and like I said, it meant a lot to me that I was able to do that. This was at the end of the year, so to hear the news a few months later was obviously saddening to me, but I was grateful to have the opportunity, so thank you so much. I also am a coach at Waterloo West High in Waterloo, so it, you know, last year I kind of, I heard about it when I didn't give a shout out to the girls at West High, so I want to say thank you to them and the coaching staff there as well, because it really does, like Rose said, it gives you the opportunity to take something that's meant so much to me in my life and to pass that on and to pay it forward onto these girls, and not only as just a coach, but as a mentor in the game of golf and in life. And to be able to do that, I know Julie coaches as well, so she can probably reiterate this as well. But you know, it really is something special when you can take a girl who may just be starting golf, or you know, something that is not necessarily a passion at the time, just something to do, and you really see the tables turn, and it turn into a life skill that they can take, whether it is seriously into college golf or even into their business life past high school and college. It's a great opportunity, and so I really do appreciate that. They keep me young, they keep me on my toes, and so it's something that certainly gets me excited for each season too, and this spring when we get the chance to get the girls out on the course. I want to thank my family and friends from not only, a lot of them are in this room, but from across the state and across the country that really keep in touch with me and pay attention to the events that I'm playing in. I know the IGA's made that a lot easier with the online scoring, but all the texts, all the well wishes and the congratulations things, you know, they mean a lot to me that I get from people that support me, and not only in golf, but everything in life. So I appreciate all of them. I want to take this idea to recognize Ben. He's not able to be here tonight. He has some unfinished business on the football field to take care of tomorrow, so go Panthers. But he supports me not only on the golf course, but off the golf course in this crazy thing we call life. And so I certainly do appreciate that. I love you and I wish you were here. To my parents, they have supported me for 34 years. They're my best friends. I love you. Thank you for everything you do. And finally, you know, somebody asked me a couple years ago why I still play, and you know, what more do I have to prove? And my answer to them was sort of simple, and it was nothing. And it's sort of kind of like what Rose said is, you know, the reason I play golf is because you know, competition is ingrained in my blood. I love to compete. I love to be out there. I love the feeling of being in competition. I love the friendships and the bonds that I've made throughout all of the IGA events over the years, and had the opportunity to play in. And, you know, lastly, it's just because I love the game. I love everything that it's done for me personally. It's enriched my life in so many ways. That's why I continue to play. That's why I continue to compete. And that's why each and every year I continue to strive to be better. So I can't tell you how much this award means to me. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations to everybody else who's here. And thank you.
Okay, you might have noticed we skipped over the Senior Men's Player of the Year award, and that's because our next recipient won both. He won the regular and the Senior Player of the Year award, Gene Elliott of West Des Moines. He's our Player of the Year for the second year in a row and fourth time overall. And for the second time, he's our Senior Player of the Year. He joins Mike McCoy as the only people who've ever pulled this off in the same year, when Mike did it in 2013. Gene amassed points in a ton of different ways. He ended up narrowly edging out John Brown for Player of the Year when he made match play. Gene had to make match play at the US Mid-Am, and he did it at the end of the year, and he just barely passed John, so it was a close race. So it's really a testament to what the terrific years both of you guys had. Finishing just 37.5 points ahead of John. And on the senior side, he outdistanced Ron Peterson by over 300 points. He'll probably talk about it when he gets up here, but I'm guessing the highlight of his year was when he qualified for a major championship, the U.S. Senior Open, out at Scioto Country Club in Ohio. Gene won the Briarwood Amateur, won the IGA 4-ball with partner Mike McCoy, won the senior match play, won the Iowa Senior Amateur, made it to the U.S. Mid-Amateur, made match play, as I said, out of Stonewall Golf Club in Pennsylvania. He finished second at a couple of national amateur events, the Stocker Cup and the Coleman Invite, was a runner-up at the Iowa Masters, finished fourth at the Iowa Mid-Am, and there's even more. If you've got your programs, there's more than that as far as what Gene did this year. So he's inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2012. He simply just keeps adding to his resume. Our Player of the Year and Senior Player of the Year, Gene Elliott. Come on up.
Say it like that, jeez. First of all, Ben and Maddie, Rose, Jenny, congratulations. You know, Jenny, you're starting to be, you know, the ladies' Mike McCoy of Iowa. So, you know, people are watching how many Player of the Years you're going to rack up here. The Iowa Golf Association is something that's near and dear to my heart. You know, Bill Dickens back in 2012 when he took the job over, you know, we've always had fierce competition in Iowa, but our golf association wasn't always on firm ground. And when Bill came, to Iowa from West Virginia in 2002, I think. He picked this golf association up, and with the help of some good board members, I mean, he took us to the next level. And now we've graduated to Chad, and now, you know, our future in the IGA just looks great. But you know, a lot of credit goes to Bill, and when Chad came on board, I mean, these guys have done so much for Iowa golf, you just don't even know. And Bill and Chad just deserve a huge round of applause. So. I'm 54 years old, and I'm thrilled that my parents are still around and still here. Glenn and Eileen Elliott, my parents, have been married 68 years. And to them, I'm still just their little boy. And you know, they followed me through junior golf and high school golf, college golf, and you know, it's just a blessing that I still have them. I've got my in-laws, Brenda and David Creans, and Dwayne's sister Natalie and her fiance Dustin. My boys are here, Gene and Sam and his girlfriend Savannah, and I've got one thing I did different this year that I've never done before. And I've always been a semi-athlete and that kind of thing, but back in January, I sent a blind email. We're members of the Healthy Living Y over in Clive there. I sent a blind email to the Y saying, hey, I'd like to work out with a personal trainer this year and try and get a little stronger. And these kids hit it so far by me. And a day or so later, I get an email from a guy, and he says, oh, you know, what kind of golfer are you? I kind of told him, you know. And he's like, whoa, you know. He says, I'll train you, you know. And so Tim Sukan and his wife Trina are here, and so where we go, you know, a month or two of training, and you know, I can tell I'm getting a little stronger, and I feel a little better. I'm not losing any weight, because I said, you know, I really need to get in better shape, you know. I said, I know I'm getting stronger, and this workout's good and all that, you know, I need to get in better shape. And he says, well, you know, Jane, round is a shape. So, you know, that's the abuse I put up with training. You know, there's one person here that I mean, if it wasn't for her, there's no way I could do what I do. And my wife, Delana, she takes care of everything. I mean, she helps in so many ways, and she caddies. We went out in June. We went out to California to play in a tournament, and I scheduled the U.S. Senior Open to be right before the tournament, just fit the schedule nicely. And we went out there, 90 players, 2 spots to get to the U.S. Senior Open. And it was 107 degrees. We were, I can't remember where we were, but you know, I birdied the last hole to shoot 68, and there were 2 68s, and I got in the Senior Open. She pulled the cart the whole way, and it was a real hilly golf course, and got me to the Senior Open. Although I didn't play as well as I'd liked, you know, we got to play a crash round with Tom Watson, and that was a thrill. And it was, you know, I just can't wait to get back there now. But it was a lot of fun. She caddied for me in the U.S. Amateur, 36 holes up at Otter Creek. We missed by just a couple. And then she caddied for me at the U.S. Mid-Amateur qualifying. And we were second alternate, and the stars all lined up, and somehow I got into the U.S. Mid-Amateur, and she caddied for me at the U.S. Mid-Amateur too, so we made it to match play, but without you, honey, I couldn't do this, I really could. But, JB, you know, you know, it was just lucky that I got Player of the Year. It was just lucky. You played so great down the stretch. You know, you've won a few Players of the Years, but nobody knows you've been runner-up 8 times in the Player of the Year. And I mean, you've been a dominant force in this state for decades. And just because, you know, I mean, you're just, you know, I played with you several times this year, and you had a hell of a year. This was a different year for me, but 2 things that stood out this year. I hit one of the best shots I've ever hit in my career, and I had one of the worst holes I've ever had in my career. and the last hole, the state 4 ball at Spirit Hollow down in Burlington, Mike and I we got the internet with live scoring, and we see we're 1 shot ahead of JD and Brett Taylor. They're in the clubhouse, and we're 2 ahead of the guys we're playing with. Par 5, crick on the right, and Mike gets up, hits the crick. Oh, this is good. And I hit the fairway, and we're playing Dusty Drenth and his partner, and he hit it about 80 yards by me. But I had a 3-wood, 264 downwind, and I hit a 3-wood to like 5 feet, made eagle, and we won by 3 or something. I don't know. But then the worst hole that I've had in my career, I was playing with John Brown, the Iowa Open, and I made 10 on the first hole at Lake Panorama, Kenora. Number 10, par 5, we started, and JB and I were fighting it out for low amateur there, and it didn't take long. It wasn't much of a fight, I got up, and I'm going to really go at this drive hard. Went at it hard, and went straight left in the trees, and it bounced around, and I got a wide open shot. And all I got to do is hit it over this tree, not very tall and everything. And I pulled that shot dead left into another tree, and it dropped down. Now I got to chip out, and I'm punching it forward. And then I hit the next shot, and I hit it dead left again. Now there's 3 straight left shots in a row. And I got an unplayable lie, and I got to go back to where I hit it. And then I hit that shot. Now it's 4 in a row. Now, I'm not real bright, but you might be aiming a little too far left. And I made 10. But I played the next 17 holes even par, and actually the rest of the year I played well, because I just aimed a little farther right. So even though you have a bad hole or something bad happens to you, you can learn from it. And I really learned something from that 10. I remember making a 10 in high school, but that's the last time I can remember making a 10. But anyhow, that's all I got to say. Just I love golf, and I'm going to turn 55 in February, so now I can play national senior golf, and I'll probably play the regular division in Iowa, so don't worry, Doc. Thanks everybody.
Well, Gene, I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to say this in my life, but I can beat you on the golf course. I had 11 one time. Thanks once again, everyone, for being here. Like I said, it appears the 2016 golf season officially came to an end today with the weather. We're extremely excited about next year, 2017. We have fantastic venues lined up. Cedar Rapids Country Club for the men's amateur, Hyperion for the women's amateur, and Harvester for the men's and women's match play, amongst others. Some of the best golf courses we have here in the state for our venues next year. So, plus, not to mention, the Solheim Cup is here next year. 2017, I think, will be even better than 2016. So we're very much looking forward to that. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving next week. and Merry Christmas if I don't see you until that comes by. The bar will be open for a little while yet. Hopefully, you guys feel free to grab another drink, mingle. Can we have all of the players of the year come up right away right now, and we'll get your pictures taken and get that out of the way so you can hang out and talk to folks. Thanks once again. Appreciate you being here, and safe travels.